Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and once again, a greetings, a blessings, a salutations, an appreciation for all those who are already here, who may be strolling in after the intro and as the notifications are seen, and then those who tune in later. Blessings and thank you to all of you once again. And I think if I got it set up right again, I believe I'm over on Rumble as well. I'm figuring stuff out, and Facebook and YouTube. So blessings to all of you who may be finding your way to the stream today. I'm filled with faith, filled with inspirations. I've had another adventure in this day of Talcottia for myself. And I hope you're enjoying your adventures as well. But I want to invite you to settle in and enjoy our time together, because that's what I want to do. I really do. I want to enjoy our time together and share some deep and incredible faith. Because today is a faith-filled Friday. That is my topic. So if that offends you, well, toughen up. We're going to talk about that too. How to toughen up a little bit in this heartless and cruel world. So, Faith in God Friday. Put your faith in God and confidence in yourself. See, I've been thinking a lot about suffering, right? The ways of suffering and the different ways people are suffering in different ways all around the world. The way I've suffered, the way I've learned of others. And suffering sucks, man. Suffering sucks. Suffering, though, is a catalyst for us to change. And so what I've seen a lot of people doing is finding reasons not to change, to hold on to the bitterness and the pain and the suffering of the past. I've done that. How'd I get through it? Well, every single one of us, we got to figure it out. We got to toughen up. We got to find the will within ourselves to, we got to find the will within ourselves to push past the limitations, to overcome the pain, to suffer through the discomfort that might be necessary for the betterment to be shown. You go to the gym, you work out, you develop your muscles. It's not simple. Well, it is simple. It's not easy. It's not easy to bulk up and to build fitness upon you, right? It takes a lot of work and intention, a lot of time. Well, sometimes. Everything good in life comes through our will, through our mind. Everything bad comes through our mind as well. And we are a species that has become quite confused. Very, very confused is the state of the world today. And I'm happy to explain the confusion. Sincerely, blessings to all of you popping in. I do appreciate all of you. I will likely drop the link later. Welcome back, Virgil from Manchester, England again. Blessings all the way across the water. I actually have an invited guest today, and should we work through the technicalities, she'll be joining. An inspiring young sister, young lady I met from online. And I've invited her. Hopefully she can join as well. But I do I do intend to open it up should the guest, thing not work out, especially. But for the first part, the real thing I wanted to talk about was growing in inner strength, growing in self confidence. It's when we go through these periods of pain and suffering and lack, it's where life kind of we lose sight of what's important. Life loses its meaning. You kind of lose that spark of life. You know, when your spirit is deflated, life can get tough. And it's real easy to build these personalities around past toughness, right? Past discomfort. We can build these habits and these patterns of carrying around the weight of the world and all the problems and all the evil and everything we've discovered. That becomes a burden. I've done that. I was considering that part of my own personal path. In some ways, foolishly, I did. I carried around the weight of the world's problems for so long. I denied myself happiness because I saw so much misery and suffering around me. That was my excuse anyway. But I did. I've spent so many days trying to figure out, why is the world this way? What is going on? This doesn't make any sense. But the funny thing is, I was trying to figure it out the wrong way on my own. Somehow, clumsily, I found my way to a spiritual path, and that's where I've found my own commitment and devotion. I figure if I want to succeed in this world, what might be the best way? Understand the rules and the laws of creation, obviously. How are you going to understand the rules and the laws of creation if you're not asking questions or paying attention? You're not. And so, also, if you really want to understand the rules and laws of creation, well, you're trying to understand the creator, the mind of the creator. The mind of the creator is revealed through the creation. Have you lost sight of your part? I didn't understand my role and my part in the process and story of creation for much of my life. My mind was kind of blind to the ways that might be. Because throughout my life, I've been blessed. I really have truly been blessed so much. The life I've been allowed to live sincerely. Taxpayers sent me around the world. I had parents who took me all around the country and everything too. So I've traveled. I found love, found family, I found adventure. So what more could life offer? Wow, I totally got myself off track there, didn't I? Sorry about that, brothers and sisters. Welcome, Five Speed. Thank you. You as well. I appreciate that. I am finding my stride. I'm trying to. I'm trying to find my stride, becoming more inspirational and less condemning. Jessica Jane, been a while, I think. Holy cows, blessings. Um, where was I going today? Inner strength. Inner strength. Where does that come from? It's not really something you create as much as it is something you discover. I mean, once you discover your inner strength, then you have the capacity and the ability to grow it. But until you discover some strength, you're going to feel, it's very likely you feel weak and insecure. And then those feelings of inadequacy, your heart knows better. The heart knows that you're more than enough, right? And so, because we're living in this fantasy of confusion where we've convinced ourselves that we're not good enough or that, you know, whatever, we're imperfect or we're sinners or whatever, all this stuff we believe, When we allow ourselves to stray from that which is true, and we start believing that we are not enough, that we can't do more, that whatever, that's when the guilt and the shame sets in. When you're filled with guilt and shame, those feelings of insecurity, those feelings of lack, feels like love is gone. Feels like there's no good to be found. I remember those days, but I don't like to dwell in them anymore. I'll recall them to make a point of a story, but God bless, man. The past is the past. Your future is where it matters, right? My future is what matters. Can't undo the past. There's no point in dwelling in it. Where did I say that? I said something recently. I'm laughing at myself because I say a lot of things that I think are kind of brilliant. Like little one-liners, little observations, like, whoa, kind of profound, dude. Then I forget them. I don't even remember where I shared it. Had something to do with the past and guilt and shame. Oh, when I stopped trying to predict the future, when I believed I knew the future, right? I was stuck in this federal job, topped out in wage. I had no hopes of growing in income, and oh, I was miserable thinking about the future. I was like, God, I got to do this so much. Well, how am I going to survive this? When I predicted a future that sucked, oh, my life sucked. So what I realized is when I stopped focusing on a future that wasn't here, I lost a lot of depression. I gained some hope. And when I did the same thing with the past, that was the first thing. I let the past go first. And when I let the past go, I let go a lot of guilt and a lot of shame. Letting go of the future let me get rid of anger and anxiety, a lot of that. But one thing I've realized in paying attention to myself, paying attention to my inner state of being, my spirit, my emotions, my mind. Hey, Sonny, blessings to you, brother. I pray you and your family are blessed, doing well. It's been a long time. Welcome, Nick. Happy Friday to you. Talcott Express. Amen. Right? I hope to grow into something greater. I hope to grow into something. Because I know the appearances. I'm just sitting here spinning my wheels, but I trust things are aligning. Things are happening quite well. Where I wanted to go with this Faith Filled Friday, right? If you're going to have faith, you're going to have a confidence within yourself. And the faith will bring a peace, and through your peace, you can find gratitude. Through the gratitude, you can feel a little stronger, and through that strength, you're willing to take chance. You've got the confidence, the courage to maybe take some chances, maybe say some things or do some things that you weren't really comfortable doing in the past. Maybe you've got a message to share with others. Maybe it's time for you to start getting out and sharing your wisdom and your inspiration, your ministry, your testimony. Maybe it's time for you to grow. The inner strength is found, right? And it's found through our experiences. Our experiences, they come through opportunities. So if you want to grow in self-confidence, you got to press in. You got to take some chances, step out, with a little bit of wobbly legs. Try what you want to try and do it uncomfortably, but see how it goes. It's your life. Have fun with it. Don't be afraid to look foolish. That brought me to another thought. Where I wrote that one down, I think. Yeah. Most of our foolishness, right? Most of our foolishness. I'm going to contradict what I'm saying here now. It's okay to look foolish as long as you're learning from what you're doing, right? But conversely, the thought I was thinking about is how foolish people look when they get caught up in their egos. They're all prideful and boastful and arrogant, and they just look like clowns much of the time. And so, what I was thinking is this what that is when people are all blah, 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 reactive and out of control, they're showing themselves to be foolish. It's self-imposed foolishness that we show when we let our emotions just drive us out of control. We look like fools. It's I've done it. I've seen myself. I've watched it. But so self-imposed foolishness, it may be limited through self-control. That simple. You want to avoid looking foolish, learn how to establish some self-control. The self-control is going to be found through your inner strength. And you can't know your strength and you're not going to control yourself if you have no awareness of you. If you're always focused on the others. What are they doing? Got to talk about them now. Got to talk about them now. But what are you doing? Life is a remarkable journey. Hey, I actually do have a ton of thoughts, but I'm going to go ahead and open up the conversations. This is a new start, though. It's going to be slightly different in that, let's see, make sure I've got these on the others. Bear with me. The difference is today is that I'm recognizing what we're doing. Anyone joining, it is as a guest, and I hope to recognize that we will be treating each other as guests in this experience. We are sharing this experience together. So not gonna really monkey around with a lot of rudeness anymore. My plan and my intentions, for those of you who've been around, my plan and my intention is to start reducing, really reducing the monkey business and entertaining the nonsense. I think it's time. I think I've had enough of the nonsense and the foolishness. So self-control is something I've been practicing with myself, and I will be hoping to share that with others. Yeah. Howdy, Hank. um, the reason I'm bringing up the ideas of inner strength, it is for a number of reasons. Part of it has been conversations I've had with others. I understand there's a lot of pain. There is a lot of darkness that people have been exposed to, and that's it's not fun. There's a lot of people who feel as though they are quite alone as well. I I know that feeling as well, and it's not fun. But what is fun is life. What can be fun is life. It's all up to you. We each get to choose. We each get to choose so much. Most importantly, well, we choose what we learn and we choose what we do. For the most part, that's what we do. We've got this opportunity of life to really feel what life has to offer. And I believe that comes forth when we purify ourselves. We stop we stop our self-foolishness. We stop our consuming our toxins. We stop consuming chemicals and things that are not healthy for us. We start taking care of our bodies. We start appreciating the things and the people around us. It's really that simple. If you want to have a better life, start feeling better about the life you're living. And if you want to feel better about the life you're living, then do things that you enjoy and that may be valued or seen as worthy. You get to decide what you do in this life. And what I encourage you, whoever you might be, what I encourage you all to do is to join me. Join me in the belief that it's time for this world to change, right? I think we need to stop relying on leaders like others. We s- we've got so many things happening in this world. I was watching a documentary earlier today regarding evidence of the geoengineering, the climate weather modification that is, it's out there and easily discovered. The evidence is pretty clear. The technology and knowledge has been around for a long time. If you look in the skies, it's not natural. The fires and the things that are happening. There's some sketchy things going on in our world right now, and I see a lot of people just living a life focused on surviving. And when I say surviving, what I'm talking about is playing along with this stupid monopoly game, this economic survival. People are spending their time focused on earning a paycheck more than what? Anything else, right? It's the American way. Go get yourself a job and become a slave to an employer for the majority of your time, you know, because a slave is one who's directed to share labor and talent with very limited choice in how they actually operate. That's the American way. Praise God. God is so good. Do you know that we get to be a part of this story? This story of creation that humanity is growing into. We're not done. We're not done advancing. We're not done developing. Each of us individually, we're all here to grow and to awaken ourselves and each other into more life, more goodness, more prosperity, more abundance, more health, more life. That's what is natural. If you look at the state of the world, there is so much visible evil, there is so much visible corruption. Someone, let's not wait for anyone else, all right? Let's just pretend that the time has come for us, right? To just, oh, damn, there's no one else. All right, job's got to get done. Let's get in there and get dirty and let's get it done. What I'm talking about is let's unite together. Let's start where I'm at here in America, right? If we could do that, which we can unite together if we stop lying to each other, stop distrusting everyone for no reasons just because they're, well, dishonest people can't trust others. Honest people can trust others until shown reasons not to. So, are you honest or not? Are you able to trust others, or are you just full of condemnation and distrust? You know what? Let me not offer criticism or judgment in my tone because I only know the life I've lived. I also know the mistakes I've made, though, sincerely. And brothers and sisters, I think it is time for humanity to stop playing the clowns and the fools. It's hard to be pride. It's hard to have pride in the nation that I raised my hand believing in. It's really hard for me to still have pride to be an American when we've got clowns like the past couple of administrations and this nonsense of this global politics. It's all economics. The problems we have in this world are clear. The economic model of today, which is what drives everything, let's face it, the economic model of today, it operates strictly through covert force. Not strictly, but it operates through covert force. Through the covert force of the economic model, the physical force emerges. And the physical force is what we've been focused on. The physical force being the militaries and the oppression of the police and the censorships of media and the false media and the misleading media. And we see that there's a small number of corporations that have really kind of leached themselves on like parasites. I believe it's our time. I believe it is our time to bring forth the new ways into the world. Provo, I love that you show up, man. Shout out to the brothers and sisters taking the Talcottian path. Well, this is God's path for us. We are just participating in the opportunities that we become aware of each day. If you really humble yourself to what is true, our God is so incredible, man. That's the part I know for sure. And I learned to have faith in our God through the love that was demonstrated by what I do say openly these days. My Savior, my Lord, my King, Jesus. It was his way, the way, that way. That God allowed me to find the truth, the light, the love of being. Can you feel it? You can. You can feel the love of being you if you allow yourself. If you allow yourself to love yourself, you will allow yourself to feel love. It is that simple. God is so good, man. Hey, welcome, Nude Guru. Absolutely. Blessings to you. Um, Welcome back, Machine Lies. I don't know what's going on, man. Blessings to everyone. Happy Friday. To those who do wish to join as a guest, please join. Feel free. I've invited others for fellowship, and the link should be pinned to the top of the chat, at least for YouTube. Here's another thought, a question to consider. Well, let me come back and I'll remind the simple observation. If you give yourself permission, you can. Well, permission and the confidence, but those are both within you when you take control of you. But if you give yourself the permission and the confidence to love yourself like you can feel the love that's available. The love that's available just for the fact of you being you. And if you can justify that that is a gift, which you can explain and justify to yourself that your mere beingness is a gift. If anything, it's a gift to you. The gift of you is for you to share, but you've got to receive it as a gift. You've got to receive you as a gift for yourself. Because if you don't appreciate being you, what are you going to be sharing? You're not going to be sharing the best parts of you. You're going to share the parts you want to give away. and and if you can find the love within yourself, which you can when you're honest, when you allow yourself to become humble to the truth, whatever the truth may be, it's it's a better use of time to humble yourself and say, "Oh shit, I guess I was wrong." When you've got evidence to prove it, right? It's when we want to fight and deny and argue and obfuscate and misdirect and all this nonsense. It's egoic nonsense. This egoic nonsense of arguments and discontent. How about I break it down simply? How about this? While the example is the perfection, right? That the stories of Jesus in service of the community and everyone around him. He went out and put all of his time and effort into service and teaching and healing and helping others around him. He offered gentleness, kindness, honesty. Yeah, I know. There was that one time, right? He chased out the money changers and yeah, occasionally love does rise to anger, but not quickly. I can only imagine the disrespect and the things that he had seen and heard. I can only imagine. Um, but the point is, while that while that example of perfection, of selfless love, selfless care, just the love of life and God and everyone else, that's not just the goal. I don't know. It, it could be the standard. To not live like that, just following logic and reasoning, it gives, my experience gives me this observation, but the logic and reasoning, it just clenches it. When we do not follow the way of Christ through mercy, forgiveness, kindness, trust in love and faith in God, when we do not live that way, we're corrupting ourselves. We're risking the comfort and safety, the wisdom. We're risking the wisdom of those around us when we fail to be honest or when we choose to be selfish. And this world has a billionaire class today. Okay, the world today. Let's bring it up. We were talking Jesus and all this stuff, but let's bring this into the modern day time. Today, just like then, got the wealthy class and the poor, the working poor. How do we have how do we have working poor? I mean, this wage slavery nonsense is so corrupted. The entire banking system, it's all built on lies. Praise God. Praise God for the gift of life because we were born into a world that has historically been corrupted. Just because the world of the past was corrupted, just because we were born into a corrupted world does not mean we need to continue it. We can stop enabling the beasts. We can stop enabling the lies. All of us. It's going to take all of us. It's going to take, well, it won't take us all. It'll just take enough of us until the 100 monkeys start effect starts rolling out and people like, oh shit, yeah, I guess the government and this, I guess maybe we don't have to put up with this, do we? Future generations, if humanity, I have faith in God. I have faith in God that we will survive, that we will overcome, but the future humanity is going to be looking back on us today, the past 20, 30, 50 years, 70 years. They're going to be looking back at us at this period of time that we've been living, shaking their head. What in the hell were those people doing, destroying our planet the way that they were? Throwing plastics and textiles and fabrics and everything is just every river, every mountain, everywhere, pollutants, spraying chemicals in the skies, trying to manipulate the weather, trying to manipulate through advertising. See, the economic system works through covert force. People feel extorted because, oh, I don't have a choice. I got to go work for, who's that weapons manufacturer I'm thinking of? I was just watching, there's all these weapons manufacturers, American jobs, selling the products to Israel so that they can. There is evil. I watched the news today and I heard some recent comments from Netanyahu. The focus on murder and war, retaliation, that's a corrupted man. The evidence is clear. That is evil coming out of his mouth in the news that I saw. And that means that President Joe Biden is supporting evil. He's leading the American government, after all. When are we going to start holding people responsible for the choices they're making and the jobs that they're performing? Brothers and sisters, sincerely, I just realized how far off topic I'd gotten. Holding government officials and employees responsible for the jobs that they're performing. Well, one day, brothers and sisters, one day very soon. And here, let's bring this back into Faith Filled Friday. For those of you who are like me, who feel the love of God, who have a faith in God and love and an honor for the truth, join me. Join me for that we may someday soon experience God's judgment. I trust. I trust the judgment will be true and it will be based on the truth. So that's the key to escaping your egoic, selfish patterns of the past, the behaviors that bring misery and pain into your heart and your mind. If you want to eliminate the pain and the misery that you've been carrying around, if you want to eliminate the darkness and the lack of hope, and you want to get rid of the shame and the guilt, it's time to trust in God. It's time to allow the old to stand before the truth, right? Allow the memories of the past to stand righteously next to the truth and figure out what is true, what is real and true about me today. When you can stand righteously with the truth, how else do you think God is going to judge you, right? Here in this man's world of legalese, man's world of legalese, that's driven by the immoral economic system that runs through covert force. It's all tied together. Shit, now I lost my thought. Where was I going with that? It's all built on lies and deception. I lost where I was going. Sorry about that, folks. I just got an update. New Chrome available. So now I've got to do something on that. But anyway, I truly am filled with faith. The truth. The truth is that which will judge us in the end. Here in man's world of legalese, everyone's relying on man's judgment. We literally have people paid to judge. We're not supposed to be judging each other. We're supposed to be discerning the truth, sharing the truth, honoring the truth. Okay, it's the truth that judges. Facts over opinions. That's the way it's supposed to be. But we've allowed manipulations of words to cause confusion. And people around the world, as far as I know, I only know what's in America and what I've seen, but there's a lot of people like me who have been voluntarily contributing like part of their paycheck through this tax system that's actually been funding our American tax dollars are funding human trafficking, murder, genocide, all sorts of disgusting, disgusting things are being done through our taxes and our voluntary contribution. And then we also voluntarily register ourselves for everything, and we sign up for everything, and we basically give ourselves away through different contracts and different oaths, and it's just the whole system is corrupt, brothers and sisters. So stop allowing the systems to corrupt you. Stop allowing yourself to be corrupted. Only you can control you. Only you can only you can authorize self-censorship. Only you can authorize self-control. And the best way to control yourself, what I found for myself, I don't want control of myself. I trust in God to bring me to the moments and the experiences that I'm supposed to. And I follow God's inspirations, right, through my heart, my imagination, the inspirations of of love, right, of success, of growth, of achievement, and following my inner spirit. Well, it's led me to a lot of different things, not always pleasant, but certainly growth developing. But my spirit has brought me to here and to today. And brothers and sisters, thank you. Thank you for joining the live stream, because I am streaming here on YouTube and Rumble and Facebook, and I'm hoping to grow it and to share it. We do have our first guest, but I'm going to, as I bring you up, my dear brother, I want to remind you that I'm inviting you as a guest, and we are guests together in this time. Welcome, Tommy. How are you,
Jack,
my
why so defensive, Jack? I'm here to make sure that you wrap this up by 6. I started a little early today to do the hashtag PayJack rollout. Is it okay if I cross promote? I'm starting hashtag PayJack today.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
And it's gonna be audience interactive because they're gonna help me make sure as we just watch Talstock it's in its entirety, they're gonna help me tally up all the donos that come in over that. We're gonna add it up, do that math. Um, but I've been seeing a lot more lately about how I better play my role. Um, I think it's a two-way street with a lot of us. Like, I'm not the only person that has other creators and guests that they clash with easily. So that part is, I don't want to put that on me or anybody solely as far as how we all coexist and co-create in our community. I'm the first one. I never said alleged community. I've always said our community, which it is. Um, but like I saw last night on Flow State with like Cynthia and Tarek and some people, like I suddenly became this center of asking religious questions. And I need people to be wrong or to be disagreeing for me to figure out what we're question. Like if I just say, "Hey, come up and ask me questions," nobody's gonna do it, you know. But like whenever you were showing the bank building, and I was like, "Jack, the banks rent those buildings. That's why it's a thing mounted on the building. Because when they don't pay the bills, they'll just pull that off the building, and another bank will move in or another company will move in." So I half agree with what you're saying. Like we don't pick where our taxes go. Um, and that was supposed to be like the legit elections is you elect the person that is going to properly use your taxes properly. Um, but I also wouldn't say that we're all complacent and criminals because we're giving unto Caesar what Caesar's. Like, if you're going to be a U.S. citizen and you're going to have that all unslaved MasterCard, which he still has, showing that he's still in this system and he's lying that he's off the grid as a person, you will be taxed. And the way to fight it isn't to shoot them or anything. I mean, originally it was electing your officials. Uh, I think have I had, did he give me the screen or did I hijack the channel again? Oh my God. Oh my God, it could only be God. This is proof of God. I was like, okay, he's back. Yeah. Um,
Sorry about that.
no, cut me off anyway because I was going off on my tangent. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, you're half right a lot of the time. You can have Jack is completely right some of the time, or Jack is half right all of the time, or Jack is not right most of the time. But I need people like Jack and Cynthia and others for me to be like, that's how I'll find out if I'm wrong and get myself corrected. And then when I see someone's wrong, I will attempt to correct unless I'm finding out through them that I'm the one that's wrong.
I think I follow you, but not
And
really.
Hank, I am being reasonable, Hank. Hank,
I
you need to come to the, I haven't scheduled it yet. I'm going to do a LumaCorp shareholders meeting, and it's going to be a big deal thing. A big deal for anybody in this community that holds stock in a LumaCorp. Uh, it'll sound petty and silly YouTuber type thing in the beginning, and it could end in like, this is where Hank could go when his dad kicks it. And this is where an agreeable Jack could go when he's on the street. I'm thinking about hitting the street just for my channel over the summer because spring is here in Denver. I'm almost thinking of doing like a summer of streaming as a vagrant.
Hey, sorry to change,
Derail. No, I derail.
but hey, on this, political corruption or taxes have to do with learning faith or learning love. It seems like there's not a connection, but I please trust everything is connected. And if we grow in our faith, we will accept no political corruption. If we grow in our love, well, we sure won't allow the wars to continue.
That's not in your power though.
Well, who says who? See, when we
God,
unite,
the
but
God you claim we share.
I believe
And
it's the God.
this is what I'm trying to show you, Jack. I got you to admit the thing about all these buildings are all big because the bankers. You plausibly came to the realization, and it wasn't to make fun of you or bust you down. You just got, now we're on the same page with that. That's a landlord's corporate property that banks can rent or other office space type businesses. This
Oh,
whole thing that you go on a tangent where everything goes back to ending things that can't be ended. Like just the fact me and Paul both exist on this planet is proof you'll never end war. Never gonna come eye to eye with that guy. We're opposite spectrums of light side, dark side.
I'm not sure
I
where this
know, I could clear it.
conversation went.
Well, I'm gonna hand it back to you, Jack. I just wanted to come up and just promote the hashtag pay Jack. Um,
I,
and I don't care if you run it. I don't even care if your show runs into it. I was just gonna say no. I'm not after you if you see that I'm streaming before you're done, and it
I,
might end up more than one series. We'll see how long it takes to get through Talstock. I forget how long it ran.
well, here, are you set up that I can forward the viewers? I'll forward the viewers if you've already started before I.
No, I'm not. It's almost 5 o'clock here. It's 10 till 5 right now. I'm gonna start it at 6.
Yeah.
I mean, if
So
you want to dump them on, that's fine. I don't see anybody in the chat that doesn't already know if they like me or hate me.
no, I know, but so about
That's how
another.
we're a community. That's how we're a community. You see anybody new in the chat? No, that's community.
Honestly, I haven't been paying close attention. I'm
No,
looking
I gotta
for.
ignore my chat a lot. I like today will be interactive, but some streams I gotta ignore the chat just to stay on point. Because I know my weaknesses. I know someone can say that thing. I'll be like, you want to work that out? You want to work that out right now? Off top? You want to show that? And then I play the black people commercial with the party N-word hotline.
I'm not following you.
The commercial I play where these N-words is desperate
Oh
to
yeah,
talk
yeah,
that
yeah.
poop on the phone.
I know.
Yeah, I get like that when somebody's off topic in my show and I'm like, hey, you want to come up and call me a PDF to my face? You want to come up here, Zoe? So I respect ignoring the chat sometimes. They're the poop. The chat is the poop foundation. Look at that Tommy Tower. Look at that glorious Tommy Tower in the chat. That's community, baby. That's one of your wrenches too. All right. Well, yeah, Jack, whether you want to restream it, dump them on me, come over and visit, I just wanted to say, hey, no hate if I'm starting it while you're still going.
I appreciate that, man. No,
Yeah, and like I said, if he doesn't pay you, he can just throw it on them that baby shower stuff or whatever. And this is how I'll say that I am pissed at this system, Jack. I cannot get into my Amazon account. Like I was getting my dog food from Amazon. I can't get into that account because I no longer have a phone number they can send a verification to. And there's all kinds of companies that have like 3-step verification where it doesn't matter. Like, oh, if you don't have a phone, you can do it this way. Not Amazon. It's effing retarded. Even the Indian guy on the helpline, he's like, yes, sir, you need a phone. I was like, why? I'm talking to you right now. Why can't you just verify it? It's retarded.
I believe it.
You're easily derailed as well, Jack. I'll give you your show back. But Jack, I'm not hating on you. You
I
are a
know.
good source for me. You're a good source for me to be like, oh, well, that's right in this way, incorrect in this way. And all you got to do is not be in your feelings about
I know.
it. I just flipped cheddar rice all over me and my stuff because I hit my fork wrong. Uh, I'll see you in a bit.
All right. Thanks for stopping by, Tom. Much love. Our poll with the love tower. Thank you. Holy cows, that is an interesting. I do love Tom. So, as I understood, though, in about an hour, he's got a stream showing up, and I'm sure we'll share the link or we'll find a way to share and join there. But the topic, we did kind of get off a little bit. The idea of a faith filled Friday, it really is to remind and encourage people to find your inner strength. Maybe it's time to toughen up. I think it is. I think it's time for a lot of us to toughen up, get moved past our hurt feelings, get moved past our opinions that we don't like, and actually accept what's really going on in our own lives and the lives of others. Because there's a lot of pain and suffering around that we become blind to. We convince ourselves not to notice the pain and the suffering of others because we got to worry about our own. Everyone's got pains, everyone's got suffering until they don't. And then we all go through these periods and up and downs, and it happens, and it's life. We don't have to we don't have to allow life, the gift of life, the opportunities of life. We don't need to allow the opportunities to become a burden. And I kind of glanced over this earlier, but I spent a long time in my life trying to survive, focused on survival. I didn't realize it, but I guess I did have a fear of death, and I had a fear of lack, and I really had a fear of suffering. Little did I know from experience, life will bring us what we're afraid of, right? Because what we're afraid of, that's going to challenge us. God created us in this experience for us to be challenged. Why? So we can grow. It's through the pain of life that wisdom is gathered. And there's a lot of wisdom being shared in this day, right here and now, in the life that we're sharing. There is so much wisdom that's out there and available, free and very little cost, just fingertips through all these electronic devices. There's a mountain of information out there. How much time are you spending learning? How much time are you spending sharing? I try to consciously find a balance. I spend time each day intentionally trying to learn something new about something. You know, pretty easy when you put vague goals like that. You gotta learn something about something, and then you just see how much you can learn, and then you feel good because you accomplished some goals. The reason I brought that up, well, it ties to the experience of life. If we allow ourselves to feel frightened, to be limited by our feelings, if we want to feel small because we feel small, well, that's our choice. I suggest that we can overcome our feelings through the power of our will, because the power of will that's within you, pretty confident it's actually just God's will. We're just borrowing God's will. We just have limited capacity on what we can control. But I believe God's will is what we will. God's created the universe and is there to serve us. That's how the laws of creation are found. I mean, that's what nature is there. Everything we need is already provided for us. It's by the grace of God, a creator, a single God, right? Let's just give it up. Let's stop fighting amongst people. Get past the words and realize what we're talking about. The singular creator that allows the universe and light and knowledge and love to be known. Praise God, man. Praise God. See, we can spend our lives wondering who is God. I challenge you to find out where God is not. See if you can find a place from your perspective of the universe and everything you've learned about space and time. Point to where God is not. Can't be shown. Here is a beautiful gift, another gift of wisdom, like I was talking about. There's so much wisdom being shared freely, generously. And here's a man who does just that. Welcome back, my brother. The machine lies.
Greetings. Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, I pray and I trust we are good. We had our words and we split apart for a few days, but I trust we're good today, right?
Yes, I have that with with many people, and I always invite everybody back The reason is because I think that in my personal heart, I feel that no one gets left behind. In my personal philosophy, so I always try to take as many people with me as I can, especially on an auspicious gathering. Yeah, thank you for being here, and I apologize in advance because I'm fasting, and they say not to announce such things. They say it is a sort of a a violation of having humility. So that has been stated that people say that it's a bad thing to state. But when you're on the 12th hour of a fast, I think it's courtesy because I'm dehydrated and I could slip up in terms of my speech and all of that. So thank you guys.
Hey, respect, appreciate it. The forewarning was just a caution. Hey, I may not be perfect today. No sweat, man. Thank you for joining and blessings. The There was a question earlier regarding God. You know, I I spent much of my life, I identified myself as an agnostic because I thought that was a smart way of saying I chose not to choose. But really, my title was hiding my ignorance because I never sought to know God for myself. I wanted to play that game that, well, nobody can know God because that's what I'd heard. And so I didn't even really try. I just accepted that there was something behind the nature that I saw. I just couldn't put a finger on it. And I never really bothered to try and learn. Today, I have sought. I have devoted my time, my energy, my resources into trying to better understand who is God? What is God? What is this that religions have been fighting about and trying to communicate? Honestly, God is the truth. It's not a who, it's not really a what. It's a force, it's a power. But God's not just the truth. God's beyond the truth. It's that which allows the truth to become known. And it's even beyond that. It's love. God is love. That's where my faith is, sincerely. I have faith in love. I have faith that I have faith in love that God does have a plan and that there is love in my future that my whole life can transform and turn around. So I have faith in love. And and then I allow the truth, the facts, whatever facts are available in my awareness, whatever is available for me to figure out and learn, those facts are my truth. And the truth guides me day to day. Pretty sure that's the way we're supposed to live is by the facts and with love. So I don't understand here, Machine Lies. If you got anything to add, please jump in. Um,
Well, I just think a lot of things that assure me that God exists is looking at human beings and seeing that they're all unique, and I start to think that actually each moment is very unique to where nothing can actually be said to be random at all. And I think I start to question this concept. I start to question the concept of randomness, and that's really when I get into thinking of God, because I think of I think of each man as being unique and not being a representative of anything greater than himself. So I look at the connectivity of all the people, and I think, oh, God must be unique, and this place, since it's not an accident, it had to have been created. So I think that there had to have been a unique creator for this world. I don't believe in multiverses. A lot of people think that there's multiverses, and they mathematically posit such things, but I don't believe in math, so to speak, as much as I believe in what I can see around me, and I believe that math is an abstract realm, but what I could see around me is that every moment is unique, that there's one world, and that the world is consistent. That means that it has consistency, and not in terms of laws, but I think it does have, you know, um, the ability for us to look at it and study it and to reason with it. So I believe in that way, we're all looking at the world, but none of us um, is seeing the same thing. So it's like how Xenophany says. He says, God is one, greatest among all mortals, all of whom thinks, all of whom sees, and all of whom hears. While many, ascribe human qualities to God. He said that the Thracians, they say that God is red haired and white, and the Ethiopians, they say that God is dark haired and black, and he's like, look at it. If you reason from these things, these people are just painting God in their own image. But God is unique. He's not like the mortals, because otherwise man becomes the measure of himself. I say man is the measure of all things. I think that is a bereft philosophy, because it's exactly the kind of philosophy that creates a bootstrapping problem, in which you were talking about potentiality. We can't seek for our potentiality within ourselves. That's shortchange. That creates a bootstrapping issue. You know what I mean? Because that means that we have to become something from within. You
Right.
know,
Everything.
yeah, and that posits a sort of faith in the future. But everything we have to become what we will become in the future is here with us now. So we could take the short change of what we have to become and just apply that to where we are now. And we don't have to get to anywhere. That is a faith in the future, whereas also people have a sort of strained look at themselves, which is a sort of false humility, which means that they wear their suffering as a badge, in which they're constantly comparing to other people, right? So I believe in one sense, faith in the future cannot guide us, and in the other sense, false humility seems to, you know, uh, I think it relates to how we view God, and our relation to the world.
Right. How we view God is going to greatly affect how we treat each other in this world. And my view on the Creator is it is powerful, it is truthful, and it is love. So I try to carry those attributes for myself. So, and I'm telling you, the more I've been doing this, I committed myself to the truth, allowed myself my goal, and I encourage everyone, my goal is no excuses, no blame in my life. I'm not going to accept it. I'm not going to tolerate it, not from myself, and I'm not going to enable it from others. No excuses, no blame. Because when we allow excuses and blame, well, guess what we're doing? We're separating ourselves from the truth. We're separating ourselves from what is love. Love is uniting. If we're separating ourselves, we're denying ourselves love. And what I've been noticing, this is kind of a way off from where you took us, Machine Lives. But
Sorry, this fasting thoughts.
hey, no,
It just kind
no,
of
it's
goes on a wild freight train with
brother,
no with cargo spilling all over.
no, it's beautiful. But I was going to bring it back to this experience we've been sharing in these YouTube streets, right? Because it is kind of a community of people, the viewers that are sharing the streams with us. And there's a community here that's growing organically, I believe. And what I've been witnessing on my own streams is a lot of people who are confused, a lot of people who are they're carrying a lot of doubts and a lot of disbelief, a lot of resentments. They're carrying a lot of baggage around, trying to share it around. And for the life of me, I'm honestly trying to figure out, why are there so many people? I mean, I know I have a ton of support. I know I do. There's so many people who are out there and tune in and truly, genuinely care. They're kind of caught up in this crazy story of Jack. They want to see where it goes. But then there's those that are close up. I get so many people that are close up in my experience that just overtly want to oppose me. And I find it fascinating.
Well, I think I'll disagree with you somewhat, brother Jack, in which you stated that the community is growing organically, and I feel personally that that cannot be the case. I feel that it is not growing organically; it is growing through lots of meddling. You know what I mean? I think the things that seem to be organic on the surface, obviously there's lots of mediation going on behind the scenes. There's people creating you know the, from what I could tell, as you've stated, imagine disagreements. You know what I mean, right? Which is an apt terminology, I feel, because it actually portrays the type of, what they call, even um, people staging quarrels and maybe trying to manage. And I do think that there are managers. There has to be managers. I mean, YouTube is one of the managers. I guess StreamYards is another manager, or whatever. And for all intents and purposes, StreamYards and YouTube do seem to be working together, right? And then down the list, there are many people within the so-called communities that are connected to greater facets of the internet. As they say, there's only 6 degrees of separation, between any two people. And they say it's a small world, but I believe everyone's connected, and more so, I believe that some people have strange connections to people. So I don't know if all of the growth is organic, but I do believe that it's our responsibility to gauge which part of the growth within the community is organic, so that we can affect that more properly, and then stay away from the parts that are being co-opted, so to speak.
Well,
And I know we've disagreed about this in the past, about trying to work with others. Where you have a more optimistic attitude.
well, I don't deny the fact that we're all connected. And so I embrace that fact. So if we're going to accept the fact we're all connected, then why in the hell are we still pretending like we can't do anything about the wars that are happening outside our borders? there's things we can do. There's a lot of people trying to do a lot of things, but
I guess it would point back to that some of us must be connected to the evil people, and that's where the paranoia sets in for some people and the disbelief sets in. Because if we're all connected, then certain of the people have to be connected to the bad actors who are causing the misery and pain. So they think, okay, well, we're all connected, and it doesn't seem like this community is isolated, from everything else that's going on. So it does seem like certain of the people may think, okay, well, certain of the people may be connected to bigger actors, than somebody is aware of, or they may be hiding their intent. I guess that is the great fear. Through that connectivity, it also breeds, you know, uh, I guess, the ripple effect, that what you do affects everyone.
it does. Well, the thought that came up with what you were describing was the simple observation: the ego divides, the spirit connects, the spirit unifies. So we can follow the egoic patterns of the past, which is emerge following the egoic patterns of the past. Well, I've offered this before. The current government and man's laws, man's legal system, it's an it's an externalization of our collective ego. And the ego is there for order and control. It's the illusion. That's the illusion that the illusion of benefit that's offered is that it offers control in the chaos. But the ego and the government are out of control. Why? Because they don't honor the truth. The world is corrupted because mankind has lost our way. We've been enabling each other with disagreements, with confusion, we haven't taken the time to understand each other. We haven't taken the time to listen, to really communicate with each other about, hey, what's going on? But the corruption of this world, what is happening in our skies, what is happening in the economics, in the politics, in the hospitalizations, in the, in the, throughout the world, there is a lot of evil.
Yes,
I
and
don't
I
think, go ahead, please.
oh no, I was just gonna say that the archetypal sort of characterization of mankind, the sort of that everybody is, part of the same mold, that could be a damaging thing as well, because what it's led to is the concept of the state, and this concept of the state has become universalized in terms of, everybody believes that the machinery of the state has to be run, by these representatives, and it's because the machinery of the state has grown so large, that it has to be mediated and run through these great, bureaucratic arms. So really, what it is that, man created this concept of the artificial, or the archetypal man, and then created the artificial man, which is the state, the representative of man, through this notion that we all need the same thing. When we don't, we're all unique, as I stated earlier. you and it refuses to take into account how we can organize our communities on a local level. So this huge machinery of the state is not allowing people to control and their lives on a much more, immediate scale. And that means that change has to happen through these prolonged means, where we, send the you know pointer to the representative, and then they get it to the lobbyists, and then they get the thing, and then they figure out what they can do, and then they meet up with the corporations, and then they do all the, so it's this prolonged system, that is essentially the issue. And really what it is that we created the archetypal man, this notion of man, mankind. Then we created the artificial man out of that, which is the state. And now we've created the machine that speaks for man, which is not working for any of the humans, you know.
So was there any solution offered there? I mean, not to be rude.
No, but it was a reiteration of what you said, that about the evil that's being spread, and about the ideological roots, I feel, of that evil. I'm trying to explore, how we got into the problem. But yeah, thank you for engaging me.
Thank you. I see
Hey,
that.
Greg.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to say hi.
No, hey, welcome, Tarek.
And
Please.
welcome, Machine Life.
How have you been, brother?
Assalamu alaikum.
I'm great. Machine Lives, I would have to say you were like on point. And Jack, I think, and don't get mad at me, but I think sometimes you see it your way, which I see it sometimes how you see it. But just my opinion, Machine Lights has it on the dot today. If that makes sense.
Sure, he's usually spot on. I'm just
That's a surprise, because I'm struggling, so just kind of winging it. But thank you. I appreciate your input, brother Tarek. Thank you.
No. You're very. I always tell everybody, Machine Lights is very, very bright. And Jack too. He has his intellect and how he sees things. I just think sometimes, Jack, um, you don't put your foot down on some people for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that's just my opinion.
Be more specific. What are you talking about?
Like some people that come on panels, sometimes I feel like Jack will you know, he may feel like they're wrong, and he'll just try to make sure everybody's okay. And sometimes we have to put our foot down to say the truth. That's all.
I get what he's saying. I'm working to clean up the panel, and I don't disagree with you at all. There are times though too where I appreciate that you also offered that you may not fully understand why I do some of the things I do. Part of it is, I'm learning and growing, not just as a man, but as a streamer and a broadcaster, and then also, well, I'm still growing in my faith. And I've suffered through a lot of nonsense, admittedly. I've tolerated a lot of crap that I had no reason putting up with, but I believed, because of my situation, that there was a lack of options, and so that's why I did some of the things I've done. But I've not done anything manipulative or cruel or criminal, so I have no problem sleeping at night.
No, you Jack. I see what you're doing. Believe me, and you've been attacked like crazy. So I get that, and you're trying to deal with it. We're all growing, so I get that. Yeah, you're on point.
Hey, thank you. And honestly, though, this is one of the things I've been trying to figure out. Why are so many attacking me? I mean, they're showing their complete ignorance, and they're showing their narrow-mindedness, their foolishness, which is what I talked about earlier today. The best way to control foolishness is through self-censorship and self-control. But there's so many people that are just so proud of the thoughts they think. It's hilarious. Hey, this is a timely reminder. Thank you, Grant's Modern Life. Goodness, graciousness. Always remember, goodness and graciousness. I'm trying to improve in both of those. And hey, this is something I've seen as well. Hurt people hurt people. Our world has been filled with pain and sorrow for so long. There's so many people running around. They're hurting others and don't even realize that they're hurt. It's Provo, I've said this before, because of the corruption, the economic system that has corrupted mankind into, well, believing in all sorts of foolishness. I believe future generations will look back at history with the different perspective, and we will agree that the economic structure and political structure has literally retarded the evolution of our society. Right? Those who lie are going to stay divided and confused, and we've got governments and corporations that profit from manipulation. People, the species collective has become retarded. It's by definition. Welcome, Hank. Not unassociated to the comment. Welcome, Hank.
Yes. So, as you know, I've been monitoring your attackers. So, I have a hypothesis to present to the other panelists for why they are attacking you specifically, Jack.
Go ahead. I want to hear this, Hank. Please go ahead, because I have my.
You're roboting, Tarek. Let's see what Hank's got, please.
Yes. So, pretty much their pride and ego aren't under control, so they're trying to use Jack to contain it. That's my hypothesis.
That's what I was gonna pretty much say too. Yeah, I think Hank's spot on with that one.
I missed it. They're
But
trying to control me because of what? What was the first
their
one?
pride and ego aren't under control, so they're relying on using you to contain it for them.
Their pride and ego are not under control, so they're using me to try and control it for them.
Yes, they're outsourcing
Very
pride and ego
interesting.
control to you.
I could see what you're saying there. That makes sense, Hank. With their attention and their for whatever reason giving their attention to me, they're giving me their control. To some degree, right?
Yes. So, unfortunately, it's so out of control that it overwhelms you. So I come and help a bit so we could get it contained. So.
Well, thank you.
Jack, can I add something to that?
Please do.
I agree with you. Yeah, Hank, I agree with you 100%. But I also think, like, I'll give you an example. Flow State and Cynthia, for example, right? Say 6 months back, great with Jack. I think it's more of a tactic where Flow State, for example, was super nice, want to use Jack for his platform, and after he got it done, he went on his own, and then after, for example, you guys disagreed, whatever the case may be, he went right away to your son, just like Paul would say, and stuff like that. So there's tactics more, I think, than that too as well. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I see it through.
Well, thank you. It's I was disappointed in some of the people because, well, I allowed myself to feel hope and trust. Something I learned something earlier. I was watching some videos on communication, and they pointed out something I think I've done. I'm very open. Let me back up. Because of my confidence, I'm very open. I'm very trusting. Because I extend trust and I'm open with others, people feel a closer bond to me than there actually is. And I think that might be what happened with Flow State and with Paul. And many others like Margot and many others. They think they're close to me because maybe they've spent a little bit of time around me and I've been open and honest and trusting. But Flo sure as hell does not know me well enough to be running around slandering my name the way that he has.
Yep. And not only slandering your name, Jack. Uh, I truly believe, and you guys can give me your advice. That, for example, the interview with Rose, right? And I think that was done on purpose. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. Because Rose is very smart in terms of like, and I like, she's just smart what she does, right? And she wanted to get you where she was almost like mocking you in the same time, like having a laugh. If you've seen it on the panel when she was on there, like smiling, like I got you. And I don't think that was very nice of her. And I called her out on Z's show when that was done. So there's more tactics, I believe, with all of them. Just my opinion. I yield.
I'd offer don't place too much weight on just appearances. Okay. I understood how things might have appeared, but I see things and saw things differently. And my faith, sincerely. Guys, you don't really understand yet, especially the people who have spent time with me on panels. And I don't understand why, but eventually people will be taking me a little more seriously. I'm confident of that because I used to be taken seriously in the past. And for whatever reason, I've lost the credibility and the reputation around me, but I know I don't deserve what has been offered about me by many people around. The point I was trying to get at is I have incredible faith in God and great, incredible hopes for our future. Because regardless what the world is doing, is not doing, regardless what the future may unfold today in the here and now, and for the past several years, I have been filled, my day has been filled with faith and love from the moment I wake up until when I go to bed. Maybe there's some unpleasant interruptions, but they're very minor, very easily forgettable. Lizard Tree, amen. Your generosity, sincerely, blessings, thank you. Faith Filled Friday, peace and love. Lizard Tree, thank you. And this is, yes. The more seriously you take this, the more seriously you will be taken. Agreed. I've seen you doing that lately. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And that is my hope.
Yeah, one thing I like to do is I'll actually invite all the random insults just so I can find out more about myself. Unfortunately for me, it tends to ward them off because they feel, well, they're not going to have any effect except making me learn stuff. So I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, here's the thing. Please, not to place you on the spot, Kat, and thank you. You are trying to understand me. I know. I am trying to help. Many people want to believe I allow things that should be stopped. Well, all right. If you have specifics or suggestions on how I accomplish the expectations, let me know. I'm willing to try. I've been doing what I believe to be best. I've been trying to demonstrate, actually. And here, people have seen it. I have been an example of forgiveness and compassion, resetting, allowing things to reset. So I still have faith. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm still pursuing reunification of my own family, still pursuing justice for the wrongful termination, and hoping to repair some of the damages of my reputation around Spokane. And then I think when that happens, which is all possible, especially if I can achieve justice for the wrongful termination, well, anyway, the topic, Faith-Filled Friday and discovering, growing inner strength. From practice and observation, if I can share this tip, what I've been noticing in myself, I can worry about things for so long, but once a choice is made, it's done. We feel better once the uncertainty is resolved, and we can resolve a lot of uncertainty in our life simply through the power to choose. We have free will, after all, right? And free will means that we have choices, and choices mean options. Well, one of the responsibilities we have is we get to decide our options, our choices. From that which is real, we get to choose. Hey, unless you have some feedback, I had a totally different thought. How about this one? Who or what determines what you need to know? Who or what determines what you need to know?
God.
So how do we know what God wants us to know? These are the questions I've been wondering. I came to that conclusion too. God determines what I need to know. I determine what I want to know. And it's through the combination of my efforts and God's grace, I'm allowed to learn and to know. And I've said
That
this.
makes sense.
Thank you. I've said this before, the knowing that we're able to receive, that knowing is the peace beyond understanding. And that's what the Bible's talking about. So you put those things together, what can we know with peace? The truth. Our God is the truth. Allow the truth to be your God, right? Allow the truth to determine what do you need to know. How many questions do you ask until you believe you know, right? Because we each get to decide when do we stop asking questions. We each get to decide how much information is enough information for me to claim to know. I found peace within my mind by choosing to humble myself to the truth, to truly treating the truth like it is God in my life. The only thing that matters to me is what is true. Because what is true matters. If it's not true, I try not to let it have relevance in my life. By humbling myself to the truth, I've found more peace in my inner state of being. Because I allowed myself to recognize, what don't I know? What am I confused about? And once I find my confusion, I've been learning all these little tricks. And anyone who's interested, I technically can be a life coach, and I'm pretty smart at some of this stuff, I think. But the trick to confusion is simple. Change the script, change the words. I'm no longer confused. Now I'm wondering. Both situations, confusion and wondering, are the result of a lack of information, a lack of clarity. So wonder. Give it up to the Creator, to the mind that is beyond your mind. That's where I find peace. And then in the peace of knowing, you got time to think and wonder. Wonder about the goodness that life is. Like today, I live in the Pacific Northwest. It's March. We had a little snowfall this morning when I woke up again. I mean, it's just crazy. But this morning, today, I'm blessed. Organic mandarins. I think they're out of California or something, but all the people involved to bring a piece of fruit into my home, all the people involved, all the nature, the pollinators, the rain, the whatever. There's a lot involved for everything that we have in every moment. And if you've got a still mind where you're not worrying about the neighbors, you're not worrying about that past conflict or the future conflict, if you've got a mind at peace, you can really wonder about, how did this get here? What is all involved in me, in my life? And I think Machine Wise mentioned it. The more we look at things, we are connected. We're invisibly connected to all of us. That includes the children and the people suffering in wars, the people suffering in famines, the people sleeping in the cold in the streets. That includes Jeff Bezos, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and the Kochs and all the other unnamed people involved. There's lots of people of influence. A lot of people alive today have the opportunity to change this world. That includes all of us. All we've got to do is get the attention of other people. And the more people we get involved in this idea of changing the world, allowing the truth to reign supreme, letting wars fade away, and this game of slavery can disappear. That's the goal I'm shooting for, guys, and why I'm on here 7 days a week. I'm not to speak critically of others, but this is what I see in many others, is they lack a purpose. They're focused on just surviving. And if you're just surviving and you're comfortable, well, you got time to hang out. And if you don't find entertainment, then you're going to be bored. So you don't want to be bored. You'd rather be entertained. And so it's kind of entertaining to have Zoom calls and hang out for hours and hours online, gossiping and talking about people and, discussing memories and stuff. I know I've attracted a lot of people that have that pattern. And the fact that my purpose is a little bit different has offered some confusion. And I've tried to bring some of those people who don't really have clear purpose in their life to join me. But since they've chosen to spend time opposing me, flow state, Paul unslaved, etc., since they've chosen to spend their time opposing me, they're not really relevant for my happiness, my future, my success. They can go away. What I'm hoping to do sincerely with our time together each day, those of you who tune in regularly and just might be just new to this adventure, my hope and goal is to share some inspiration, some faith, and with the faith in a power greater than yourself, in the spirit of life, that power greater than us is truth. It's wisdom. Wisdom is the essence of the truth. I might have that backwards, but maybe not. And then the other essence is love. So have faith in the truth that God has allowed you to learn. Be humble to the truth of others. Be gracious of the truth that you can learn. Be grateful for the truth. If you discover you're wrong, be grateful for that new knowledge. It feels like our lives shatter when we're wrong, because in a way they do. But we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers in high places. In the individual, it is in the mind, the structures of beliefs, the patterns of programming, of belief. Those are the problems for each of us individually. And then, like I said earlier, we've collectively externalized it, or it has been externalized through laws. And legalese, man's law, is so corrupted, it defies God's laws. God's laws are shown through nature. Nature is united. There's cooperation. There's sharing. There is abundance and prosperity just built right into nature. But the economic model we were born into, that, it uses force to operate, it's corrupted us. I don't know. Thoughts, my friends?
Well, I like what you said about freedom and choice and uh, and also about knowledge. And I do think that the 2 points relate to each other in terms of, as you said, we choose what we want to know, and that knowledge and desire end up being the same thing. And God tells us what we need to know. And that comes to where knowledge is actually infinite when you see it from God's perspective. But there's this sense in which everybody has this prolonged sense of knowing because they can Google something. So because they have this knowledge external to themselves, it's almost like we're waiting to find things out that we haven't even asked the questions for. And the problem is that we're, kind of stuck in this sense of voyeurism, which everything's out there, just Google it, so there's no need to figure anything out, and that gives us a sort of, a hubris, just having this knowledge external to ourselves, even though, we have access to it, we don't know anything. You know what I mean? So it's actually important to understand that, that we don't possess the knowledge, that knowledge is a possession. And in that, it is, similar to desire and similar to freedom and choice, because the more choices you have, the less free you are. As you said, there's freedom, there's choice, and there's decision. And freedom is in the decision, not in choosing, right? And acting on what you can, because otherwise, we have so much information to add to the pile. We're naive children, trapped in an information overload unit.
Yes.
And we're getting more and more abstract as time goes on. More and more information we dump in, the more and more prolonged our decisions. and we're waiting to know things. But we should have a preference for what we already realize.
Yes. So on the other side of the coin, I worked in technology, worked in IT, worked in programming. I pushed past the point where Googling gets me anywhere. So another flip side of coin, once you come down the Google line, you have to sit there and figure it out. And what people who obsess over AI and searching don't realize is that a lot of stuff that you easily have access to isn't good enough. You can't just snap your fingers and get it done. It's gonna take a lot of time and effort, even if you find the right thing to actually implement and test the stuff you need, so you can have, if we can push the process, actually help the people out with their problems. So and that's what people were totally underestimating, how much work it takes to actually get something functional for people can use and trust it. So just because the knowledge may allegedly is out there doesn't mean we can actually use it. So you have to, sometimes you have to destroy it out, start from scratch, or just pick a thing just to get going, and you still don't know where you're going to, but you have to destroy anyways just to know where you're trying to get to.
I think I followed most of that. I lost you at the end there, but
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta make a choice because the knowledge you're looking
yes,
for just isn't out there.
thank you. That's yes, and actually, I kind of wanted to deal with address a couple of questions. Well, welcome, London. Good to see you, brother.
Cheers, Talcott.
There was a question back to something you said, TML, and at first I objected as well. So the more choices, the less free. I think the logic behind it that I got from TML is the abundance of information. It's almost an overload, and at the same time, where I wanted to press back against what you did say though is the pattern of waiting. What was it? Waiting to know. Waiting to know. You're absolutely right. That's a condition that mankind has developed, maybe particularly in the Western world. I don't know about elsewhere, but this idea of waiting to know. It's the egoic pattern of I guess maybe laziness coming out of us.
It's a concept coming from the concept of reflection that comes from dualism. That's why it's particular to Western man, in a sense. But yeah, I digress.
Makes sense, man. And I love this comment too. Is faith, hope, and trust where people delegate proactive responsibility outward instead of inward. Really reflect on that. Faith, hope, and trust. I believe that means an active inward responsibility completely. Now, the idea though that I used to have shame in asking people for help. I really did. And then as I became more humble to the truth, I realized each and every one of us, we've got our skills, we've got our attributes, we've got things we're good at and things we're not. There's no shame in asking for help when someone's got a talent and you don't. If anything, hey, can you show me how you do that? Right? When I used to feel shame for asking for help, but now what I do, I'm twofold. I learned from Tony Robbins in one of his motivations, part of success is knowing who to ask, right? It's not successful people, they receive help all the time. They're not afraid to ask for help. They ask the right people for help. And when you go to ask for help, you don't go empty handed. You go with a reason why there's a value in helping you. And
Jack,
that's the way I see it.
I agree with that. How you doing, sir? Greeting to the panel and the chat room. I agree 100% what you're saying there, right? There's times when I've gone to ask favors of random people, and I really should have started off with answering close ones first, because when you know, so-called random folks can't help me, I resort coming back to, you know, people that are closer to me, because it's like I don't want to have to ask people, because I like to do it myself to some degree, right? But if I got no choice, I'll ask someone else randomly first, right? Before I'll ask a close friend. It's strange the way how it works with me.
Interesting. Interesting. You know, if I was you, I'd continue to look at it and wonder why. But it may be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. Who knows? It's for you. That's the thing I realized in my. I have a confidence within me, and I realize sometimes it comes across as arrogance, particularly when my situation around me, the family and economics, when that's taken in consideration, there's a lot of confusion around me. But I have a confidence with me. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of, and I know my purpose is to help others. So when I've been asking people for help, I'm sharing an opportunity to help others. And I invite everyone to start looking at the world through that eye. When you see the problems, can you see, is this an opportunity for me to help? Am I able to step in and do something here to help alleviate the problem I discovered? I think we can. Tarek, blessings to you as well. Your contributions are very, they are received with great appreciation. Sincerely, thank you. You may disagree with me on some things. I know you want the best for me. I know you want the best for many. And that's what I'm seeing in this community. The true people that are here with me, that's what they want. The true people that are here for me, they want a better world. They want the best for others and for the whole world. The other people who oppose me, they just don't know they want that yet. They don't yet know. But when
I like
people,
what Lizard Tree said there.
what's that? Yeah.
I like what Lizard Tree said there, yeah.
When you know you don't know, that's when you know. Amen. To find the limits of your wisdom, seek, try to find the wisdom, the limits of your ignorance, right? Find out where you don't know. What don't you know? That's where your new answers are found. That's where the growth is discovered. What do you not know? What have you not been paying attention to? That's a path for healing right there. Dealing with memories of pain and betrayal and all this agony that we carry. There's things that we ignore. There's things that we overlook. We miss out on enjoying the benefits and the goodness of what may have been a real difficult and painful time. But we get to control, we get to choose. When you realize your control, when you realize your godlike power to direct and control your mind, that's where the healing happens. Amen. That is the truth. Best for everyone. God's best for everyone. Everyone wants what they think is best for them, though, and then we get wars. This is where the world we were born into. We were born in after, well, it's been a development of knowledge in the collective through the development of the understandings of propaganda, of mass manipulation, the experimentations that were done through the CIA, through the Nazis, through what was the Japanese unit? The Japanese had another unit that was just atrocious as well in World War II that did a lot of human experimentation. Well,
Let me
all of
look
this,
it up.
please do. Thank you. All of this information of experimentation and human study, well, it found its way into the United States government. And media and propaganda have been very effective tools over the last, what, 75 years, 60 years? I don't remember when the television and stuff came out, but the last 100 years or so, 120 years, there's been some incredible changes in our world. And I think it's time. I believe that we are living through this transitional period where God's going to allow us to awaken. Unit 1731 is what's coming to my memory, Hank. If that there was something else I was going to do. Any other thoughts, brothers? You guys have been patient with me. Thank you.
I think I
Well,
found Unit 731.
Unit
Um,
731. Thank you.
Yes. It was a covert biological and chemical warfare research development unit in the Imperial Japanese Army that engaged in lethal human experimentation and biological weapons manufacturing during the Second Sino-Japanese War and World War II.
You're muted, brother.
Thank you. Sorry. I learned of that within the last few years. I mean, my eyes became open when I started looking into history. There's so much evidence of some sick, evil programs that have been funded by good-hearted people just ignorantly playing along, playing their role, go to the job and pay your taxes and don't ask too many questions about the neighbors, but pretend like you're a good neighbor and just don't disturb anyone. Um, we've been living this game, this life, this world we're living in. It doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah,
It can be so better.
I think just today, or I heard that they took a genetically modified a pig heart, or part of its body part, and transplanted it into a human. I don't know if it's a heart or I think it's actually I'm pretty sure it's not the heart. It's a different part. I think it's a kidney or something. But they took a genetically modified pig and then transplanted the organ into a human. It's the first time ever they did that. So yeah, we are living in strange times. They're still doing human experiments, is what I'm trying to get across. So
Yes.
as terrifying as it is, that those things are not in the past. But yeah, bless you guys. Thank you guys for being here with me. It's time for me to open my fast, and I bid you guys farewell. Thank you guys.
Bless you,
cheers.
brother.
Blessings,
you.
London.
Much love,
Thank you,
bro.
Hank. Yeah, peace.
Thank you for joining, brother. Blessings. I'm actually feeling like maybe wrapping up myself.
I
Before here,
concur.
thank you. I that was my thought too, but what I think he was speaking about is it was probably manufactured and grown within. It was probably, my guess is it may have been a human heart grown within a pig. There's doing some sick thing. Well, they're doing some experimental projects related to mankind. I do feel like it's maybe time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Illumitami has already started his stream, so
Oh, nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good news. That's good news. All right, Mr. JT. Much love. Hank, peace out.
See you
respect.
both later. See the rest of your panelists later. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, brother. I do appreciate you. And I'm going to do a couple minutes for those who contributed again. Sincerely, blessings. Thank you. Your contributions are very appreciated and well received. And I was looking for the link. Someone shared the link for Tommy earlier. I've actually got this stream set up, so if you want to join Illumitami when I'm done, it's set up to go that way as well. The topic, first of all, thank you sincerely. All who joined the panel, all who tuned in, joined to share your day with us, please, and thank you. Take blessings with you. My gratitude is sincere. The topic for the day, though, Faith-Filled Friday and the idea of overcoming. Because overcoming is what we're here for, what you are here for. We're here to overcome that which was. And that which was limiting, and there was a lot of pain, and there was a lot of darkness, and there was a lot of confusion. That which was is yesterday. Let it go, right? Allow yourself to renew, to restart, to regroup. Pick up from the past what feels right and what's gonna push you forward into the future. Carry that which is healthy for you, that you've learned of from the past, that you've picked up from the past, but find within yourself the strength to put down that which is not helpful. Self-development, right? Personal development, success, achievement. If you want any of these good things, transcendence, you want to transcend, you want to transmute, you want to alchemize and if you want to change, the change is within you. It comes from your will. Your desire directs the focus of your mind. And where your mind is focused, that's where you're going to see your choices and your options. But guess what? Once you make a choice out of those options, it's done. You don't have to worry about it. And if you made a choice, you can't undo the choice. So don't worry about it. Just deal with what is. I spent a lot of years of my life lost and confused because I didn't understand the gift of my mind that our Creator had given. You've got the same gift within you. You've got a powerful mind of observation, of memory, of imagination. It is capable of leading you and those around you into greater things. If you believe it, if you trust it, if you use your tools of you for the purposes of, intention. If you don't have intentional purpose, you're just going to float through life, going through the motions and doing your job and telling yourself, I'm surviving, I'm doing everything I can. Are you? Are you really? Are you paying attention to what you're doing? Brothers and sisters, the way to freedom within your mind is to pay attention. It's to grow in your appreciation of your awareness. How about that? Can you grow in appreciation of the mere awareness that you possess? Because of your awareness, you're able to identify problems. You're able to remember pains. You may even really, through just the memory alone, you may be able to bring up just horrible, terrifying feelings from the evil that you carry up there, just from the memories and the snapshots. The body is divinely orchestrated and perfectly put together. You're not broken. You just might be a little, I don't know, fractured maybe. It's not broken. It's just fractured. If you're feeling lost, if you're feeling hurt, you have the opportunity to grow, to restore, to heal. And that's what love does. That's what the truth does. The truth heals us and frees us from our confusion. The truth heals us and frees us from our deception. And once we awaken from our deception, once we awaken from our confusion, you then have eyes that see different things in different ways. And I encourage you, brothers and sisters, go within with the humble mind of a child, seeking to know the greater spirit of love, the greatest wisdom that is. And if you pray with heartfelt intentions to truly know peace and love and the divinity of God, I bet you the spirit of comfort will join you. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. Where do I go? Brothers and sisters, I think I'm going to wrap it up and sincerely thank you again for all those who are still present. We're going to forward you over to the Illumitami stream where he is discussing the paycheck aspect. And I'm neither in promotion of nor opposition of what he's doing, but I do like the man. I appreciate what he's doing and you're doing. So put your faith in God, find the confidence in yourself, and through the memory of righteous actions, of right choices, and good deeds, feel the confidence grow within you. And if you can feel that confidence grow and you can grow in your appreciation just for your awareness of being, life can transform miraculous ways. I know this, I feel it, and I love it. Brothers and sisters, once again, thank you sincerely. Please do the subscription thing, the notification thing, share with other people who might want some encouragement or entertainment, whatever it is you find that's good, and share it around. Until next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you, and God bless us all.